This is Masters Report, and I'm John Masters. Bet you guys thought you'd gotten rid of me, but no, I'm like a bad penny. I keep coming back. Yeah, and by the way, I know it's been a while since I've been on, but notice I've lost a little weight. I'm not looking quite as round as what I used to look. But guys, yeah, I'm back. I had to take some time to decide what I wanted to do, what direction I wanted to take the channel. And to be honest with you, I needed the break. As regular subscribers, y'all know what I've been going through. So we're going to get into dirty little secrets or dirty little tricks that the government likes to do to take your stuff. And I got a really good one today. Make sure to subscribe, guys, because I'm going to cover a lot of these nice little tricks, like how the IRS is now wanting to snoop on your bank account without getting court approval. But today, I've talked about this before. I've talked about it many times about how the government uses asset forfeiture, of course, to take your stuff. Well, that's kind of what it is. And it's not really so much the criminal aspect that gets you, it's the civil asset forfeiture. It's the filing against your personal belongings. It's not against you. So you have to prove, since the civil forfeiture is against your property. In other words, the property has to prove that, well, it's not drug related, that it's not evil, that no, it has not engaged in any criminal activity. Of course, you would have to be involved if it engaged in criminal activity. But that's okay, because you'd probably already been cleared of your criminal charges, just like this guy. This is out of Forbes. Forbes is talking about a guy who was pulled over. All they found were Ziploc bags. That's it. But that was the excuse that they used to take his $500 in cash. And also, of course, his vehicle. No way would he ever get convicted, which would allow them to actually take the vehicle and the money as drug related if he got convicted. Well, he, of course, did a plea deal because he couldn't afford to protect himself. And then they filed civil asset forfeiture. And we're going to cover that. Alrighty then, what have we here? New proof that the police use civil forfeiture to take from those who can't fight back. Now, this is out of Philadelphia, okay? In Philadelphia, this was so rampant. In fact, there was even a certain courtroom 495, I believe is what it was called. But what the trick was they were all in cahoots together. And they would do a bogus bust and then send these guys, set a court date where they go to a courtroom without a judge, without you have no defense attorney, okay, without any court appointed attorneys. They have you fill out a bunch of paperwork, um, set you a new court date. You come back again to this 495 was the courtroom without a judge, and they would give you a plea deal, generally minus, money, etc. And they would use your money and take it for themselves. They actually would steal it. And the funny part is that they did end up going with a class action lawsuit. It's 30,000 people, during this period of time, which it was going on for quite a while. But they did a class action lawsuit, and all they had to do was give the city had to give restitution for the crooked cops, the crooked district attorneys, etc. They covered for their butt. But yeah, pretty much stole it. But this is the interesting part down here. And I'm kind of giving you the shorter version because, well, it's kind of a long story. So we're going to cut to the interesting part, which is right here. Because Philadelphia abused many people over many years, more than 30,000 people were eligible for compensation. This made it possible for the Institute, this is the Institute for Justice, to survey victims and release a report. Frustrating, corrupt, unfair forfeiture, in the words of its victims, released just last week. You guys might want to look that up. It's an interesting read. The major finding confirmed what has long been speculated about civil forfeiture victims. First, it is a process that disproportionately targets disadvantaged communities. Two-thirds, well, I mean, kind of makes sense. They want your stuff, So they're not going to go to rich people where it would be expensive to be able to take their stuff. Better to just take something that's a little bit cheaper. Maybe it's not a Hummer, okay? Maybe the guy saved up really hard and he got a Camaro. But you guys get the idea. Process that disproportionately targets disadvantaged communities. Two-thirds of survey respondents were black. 63% earn less than 50,000 annually, and 18% were unemployed. And forfeiture clustered in predominantly minority and low-income areas, like where police sees this man's car and cash. Similar to how Philadelphia went after Nasir, however you say his name, for empty baggies, law enforcement typically wasn't using civil forfeiture to fight serious crime. Only 1 in 4 survey respondents was ever convicted of a crime. And like this man, many of those who were convicted pleaded to low level offenses that were eventually scrubbed from their record. Moreover, half of all reported seizures were worth less than $600. One respondent even said police seized his crutches in case he wanted to make a run for it. I'm assuming, might I mean, some of them cops are pretty big. They don't really want to run. They hate running. They hate chasing. That's why when they catch you, they beat the crap. Anyways, they seized his crutches. Also, too, by the way, I believe it's estimated that it costs approximately at least $1,500 to go through all of the filing to get to court, to get your money back. So they always tried to keep it less than $600 when it came to cash, or less than 1,500. I mean, it's little bites, a little bit here, a little bit here, and a little bit here. But and as anybody that follows the stock market can tell you, there's a saying there. It says it goes this way: bears make money, bulls make money, pigs get slaughtered. It's talking about not being greedy, just taking enough where you're making a profit. The report also found that fighting civil forfeiture, difficult for anyone, was even harder for the working poor. Remember, this is in an illegal courtroom. Well, I guess you could call it legal, but it was a prosecutor only courtroom. No judge, no defense attorneys, okay? Was harder for the working poor. In Philadelphia, missing a single court date often meant losing your property forever. Yet prosecutors would frequently reschedule court dates with little or no notice, forcing people to go to court a half a dozen times or more to resolve their issue. Could be that they're just trying to get them to give up and just let them keep their shit. This chicanery put people with less flexible work schedules at a great disadvantage. Additionally, survey respondents with less education were less likely to get their property back. In other words, if it looked like you were going to fight it, then they were probably going to give you your stuff back. Anyways, this is Masters Report. I'm John Masters. I'm going to start forcing myself. Ah, Freudian slip. I'm going to start making sure to post more often, guys. So expect to see a lot more videos.